Imagine, if you will, a quiet village at the edge of nowhere. Cobblestone streets, empty windows, the kind of place where even the moon seems afraid to shine too bright. A place where the line between myth and memory is about to be crossed. I'm Salomé Martinez, and today on this special Halloween episode of Friday How to Play with me, Salomé, we open the door to Horrified, a cooperative board game where you and your friends must stand together against the greatest horrors ever dreamed up by Hollywood's shadowy imagination. It's for 1 to 5 players, takes about an hour to play. You'll guide trembling villagers to safety, gather relics of light and faith, and stare directly into the eyes of the monsters that haunted your childhood. But beware, fear spreads quickly here and time is never on your side. So I ask you, do you have the courage to face what lurks beyond the lantern's glow? Well, there's only one way to find out. Come closer. Take your seat at the table and I'll teach you how to play Horrified. To begin playing this spine-tingling game, we must start with the setup. Lay out the game board in the center of the table. It's a map of the village, complete with creepy landmarks like the graveyard, laboratory, and the docks. Place the terror marker on the 0 space of the terror track. That's your communal pulse. Too much terror and the town is doomed. Set the 10 villagers and the 3 dice nearby. Now, shuffle the monster deck and the perk deck and place them here. Fill the item bag with 60 colorful tokens and place it nearby. Next, choose your monster. It is recommended to choose Dracula and the creature from the Black Lagoon for your first game, a perfect mix of fangs and fins. Arrange your chosen monster mats from lowest to highest frenzy order and place the frenzy marker on the lowest one. Each monster comes with a mat, figure, and sometimes extra pieces, like Dracula's 4 coffins or the creature's boat and lair board. Depending on which monsters you choose, each have their own unique setup, which you can find in the back of the monster mats. We'll start with Dracula. Place the Dracula figure on the crypt space. Then place a coffin with the red icon face up at each of these locations: the crypt, the dungeon, the graveyard, and finally, the cave. Now, we'll set up the creature from the Black Lagoon. Place the creature figure on the lagoon space of the board. Locate and place the camp overlay on the board so it aligns with the camp location. Then, place the boat token on the X labeled start on the monster mat. Now, let's get the heroes going. Mix up the hero badges and deal one randomly to each player, along with the player reference card. Each badge tells you your starting location, your special ability, and how many actions you get each turn. Place your hero figure at their starting space on the board. Give each player 1 perk card, face up from the draw pile. And finally, draw 12 random item tokens from the bag and place each at the matching location on the board. And with that, the town takes one uneasy breath before the nightmare begins. In Horrified, you and your fellow heroes will stand together against the darkness because this is a fully cooperative game. You all win or you all fall. Your goal is simple, in theory. Defeat every monster terrorizing the village before panic consumes the town or time runs out. But of course, nothing in the dark is ever that simple. Each monster has its own unique task, its personal nightmare that must be conquered before you can face it head on. And today, we'll be battling 2 of the most infamous creatures ever to crawl from the crypts of cinema: Dracula and the creature from the Black Lagoon. When both Dracula and the creature are vanquished, the village is saved. But if the terror level reaches its peak, or the monster deck runs dry before you finish your grim work, then the night claims its victims, and the story ends in screams. Each player has 2 phases: hero phase, then monster phase. At the start of your turn, check your badge. That shows how many actions you can take. You can move, guide, pick up items, share, advance, defeat, or use your special ability. Take them in any order and repeat them if you want, or stop early. It's entirely up to you. But remember, every action matters. When your turn ends, the monster phase will begin. Let's go through each action in more detail and see how you can survive the night. Let's start with the move action. You can move your hero along any lit path to an adjacent space connected by a bright trail of safety. But remember, you can't wade into the water. The river that snakes through the board can only be crossed using one of the 2 bridge spaces. If you try to swim, well, let's just say you won't like what's waiting underneath. When you move, you can also escort any number of villagers in your space along with you. They'll cling to your arm and follow wherever you go, because frankly, you're their only hope. And here's the part that'll test your courage. You can move into, out of, or even end your turn in a space with a monster. They don't stop you from walking in, but beware, you're putting yourself right in the jaws of danger. The next time the monsters move, you might be the one they reach for first. So, move wisely, stay close to the light, and maybe, just maybe, you'll survive until dawn. Next is the guide action. Guide a villager from your space to a neighboring one, or pull one safely toward you. Villagers also cannot move into water spaces, and monsters do not affect villagers' movement. The pickup action allows you to pick up any number of items in your space. Share action. If you're in the same space as another hero, you can freely give or take any number of items between you. Items are your tools for survival in Horrified. You'll use them to advance tasks, defeat monsters, and fend off attacks when things get grim. Each one has a color showing its type. Red for physical, blue for intellectual, and yellow for spiritual. Plus, a strength number and a location where it appears on the board. When you use an item, it's gone. Discard it unless the rules tell you to place it on a monster's map. Some actions limit you to 1 item for a color. Others let you stack their strength. Choose carefully, because the right item in the right moment can turn a nightmare into a narrow escape. Special action. Each hero has a unique ability listed on their badge, something only they can do. It counts as one of your actions and can be used more than once if you've got actions to spare. Think of it as your personal trick up the sleeve. And in this town, you're going to need every trick you've got. Advance action. At certain locations, you can spend an item to move a monster's task along, like smashing Dracula's fancy designer coffins or steering your brave little boat through the creature's lagoon. Each monster advances in their own spooky way. But don't worry, we'll get to that later in the explanation. No need to rush to horror. The monsters aren't going anywhere. And finally, the defeat action. When you're in a monster space, you can spend the right items to finally take them down. Just make sure you've completed their task first. No skipping ahead to the grand finale. Once that's done, it's lights out for the monster. Till the sequel, that is. And don't worry, we'll go over exactly how to pull that off a little later in the explanation. Let's talk about perk cards. They are your lifeline in the dark. Each player starts with 1 card, and they have a special one-time ability that can turn chaos into triumph. You can play them during any hero phase, even on someone else's turn, because good teamwork is the only thing that can scare these monsters. And if you run low on perk cards, don't be scared. There's a way to earn more. You'll just have to risk your neck helping the poor villagers, who can't seem to stop wandering into danger. Villagers are terrified townsfolk wandering the board, and it's your job to keep them breathing. Guide them to their safe locations as indicated on the top of their movers before the monsters find them. Each rescue earns you a shiny new perk card as a thanks. Protecting them isn't just heroic, it's smart, because nothing raises the terror track faster than a villager who didn't make it home. When you finish your actions, your hero phase ends and the monsters awaken. Now, draw the top card from the monster deck. You'll resolve it from top to bottom. Items, events, monster strike. First, place the number of items shown on the card to the board at their matching locations. Next, check the event. It might be harmless or horrifying. If the event shows a monster not in your game, skip it. But if it matches one you're playing against, in this case Dracula or the creature from the Black Lagoon, read it aloud and do what it says. Monsters can move, lure heroes closer, or spawn villagers in dangerous places. Finally, it's time for the monster strike. The monsters listed at the bottom of the card will each move and attack in order. If the frenzy symbol shows up, the monster with the frenzy marker goes into a rage, moving and attacking immediately. That means a monster could strike twice in the same turn, because apparently once just isn't scary enough. Monsters move along the shortest path towards the nearest person, and they'll always choose the hero before villagers if on the same space. You'll move the monster the number of spaces shown on the card. The moment it reaches someone, it stops moving, and if it already started in a space with fresh company, it doesn't move at all. It just gets straight to the terrifying part, attacking. If a monster ends up in a space with someone, it attacks. Roll the number of dice shown on the card. No one is nearby, then there's no attack. If there are multiple targets, the monster always prefers a hero over a villager. Apparently, bravery smells better. And if more than one hero is available, the current player decides who's about to have a very bad day. You can discard items to block each hit symbol rolled, but if you can't, your hero is defeated. You'll remove your hero from the board, the terror level rises by 1, and on your next turn, you'll respawn at the hospital, ready to fight again. Villagers, though, they're not so lucky. If a monster reaches them, they're gone for good. And that's another tick up the terror track. Sometimes, power symbols appear on the dice, triggering each monster's special ability. Dracula can hypnotize any hero to his side. The creature can literally rock the boat, undoing your progress towards his lair. Each monster has its own puzzle to solve before you can face them. Count Dracula is not easily slain. His power lies in his connection to his 4 coffins scattered across the village, safe havens where he regenerates and plots. To weaken him, you'll first need to smash those coffins to splinters. Travel to each location where a coffin lies in wait and use your red items to destroy it. You'll need a total strength of 6 or more each time. Every coffin shattered chips away at his immortality. Place a shattered coffin on Dracula's mat, and when all 4 coffins lie ruined on his mat, only then may you confront the Count himself face to face by spending your yellow items with a combined strength of 6 or more. Do that, and the last of his charm fades as the sunlight finally finds him. Deep beneath the water, something ancient stirs. To defeat the creature, you must first discover his hidden lair. A twisting path of colored spaces representing your expedition into the lagoon. At the camp, use your advanced action to spend items that match the lagoon's colors. Each item pushes the boat closer to the center of the map, closer to where the creature waits. Once you've found the lair, it's time to drive the creature back into the abyss. To do that, a hero must be on the same space as the creature and discard 1 item of each color. red, yellow, and blue. The lake churns, the air crackles, and with one last desperate push, you send the monster sinking into the dark water below. Your group can coordinate on who tackles which monster and when. You'll need to split up, share items, and rescue villagers as they appear. But beware, the frenzied monster always acts twice as often and will keep you on your toes. There are 3 possible endings to Horrified. Number 1, terror reigns. If the terror marker reaches the skull, fear overtakes the town and the monsters claim victory. 2, out of time. If you ever need to draw a card and the monster deck is empty, the village falls. The monsters win and your heroic story, well, fades to black. And 3, my favorite of all the possible endings, the hero's triumph. You've completed all tasks and defeat every monster. The village is safe. The fog lifts and peace returns. Until something else crawls out of the dark. And that's how you play Horrified. I'm Salomé Martinez, and I want to thank you for joining me in the fog, the fear, the fun of surviving one very long night. And I hope you get to rescue a few villagers of your own and maybe send a monster or 2 back to the shadows where they belong. Until our next Friday How to Play, remember to learn, play games, and always have fun before the monsters do. Adios.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you like this review or whatever you just watched, wasn't it amazing? Check out our channel, Dice Tower. We have all kinds of things. We review games, we do top 10s, we play games live. It's all about board games, but especially the people who play them. Check out Dice Tower YouTube channel.